I want to see nasty, physical football.
It did feel like this was the first day where it felt like football was really back. And it was back. It's just back more today.
And my guy, see, you guys focus on stats. That's what you guys would care about. My guy, Greg Rousseau, was setting the edge from right off the start.
I'm going to get to a Greg Rousseau talk
a
little bit later.
Before we welcome back to the Buffalo Plus channel, presented by Connors and Ferris. Mike Catalana, Dan Fates. I am Jenna Cottrell. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share.
We have been gaining so many subscribers through training camp. The views have been amazing. I just wanted to make note of it. It's really appreciated. About 20,000 views on all of our post-practice recaps. It's been awesome.
We so appreciate it. It's so much fun. And we love doing these daily recaps because there's so much that goes on day to day. And I cannot believe we're already at day number 5 here at camp. And things have hit a new gear. First full day in pads, and we know that brings out the physicality. And it was so hot today, too.
Add all that together, right? And there is something when you talk to some of the players, we always joke about back in the day.
Duke Williams, all-time quote.
Loved saying contact. Now, he was talking about hitting other teams.
Correct.
This is talking about it. And players like Dwayne Carter's like, yeah, this is how I make my living. Like, this is what I need to do in order to get ready. They talk about the calluses, right? Sean's talked about that. It ramps up along the way, but it was just so different out there today. It's not like full-on football tackle to the ground, but it's feisty on days like this.
Pretty close. And Sean McDermott was asked before practice what he wanted to see today during the first padded practice.
I want to see nasty, physical football, but I don't want to see a disrespect for a man's career and dirty football. That's not how we play in Buffalo. So we painted a pretty clear picture this morning of what that looks like for the new players in particular. So that nastiness that's got to be developed here, but it can't be at the expense of someone's career. So clean, but physical.
The nastiness.
Yeah.
There was some nastiness There was some nastiness out there for sure.
A lot of run plays.
Yeah.
That's one thing that I noted. It was a lot of that gritty football. Like, it was a lot of O-line centric plays.
Isn't that the way you get started when you put the pads on, right? And it's
Fundamentals.
a little bit. Yes, it really is. And you definitely saw it. And then there's times when guys get a little angry, right? Depending on how tackles are made.
Yes.
In this game, it's not a full tackle, but there were some physical hits.
Yeah.
I was thinking about the episode of The Office when he talks about fundamentals, and Michael goes, "You'd have to be mental not to enjoy it." And Toby goes, "Well, there's fun right in the beginning of it." And Toby's already walking out, and he goes, "Get out." And he goes, "I know." I was just thinking about fundamentals. That's the first thing.
Well, I just feel like you could feel it ratchet up in terms of just the physicality, but also just the vibe, the mood, the attitude, the focus. Like, it does feel like we're getting closer to real football, and I feel like for the players too. There's so many guys that you watch out on the field before the pads come on. You're like, oh, this guy pops, that guy pops, and then when you do throw the pads on, you're like, oh, you see some other guys where you're like, I wasn't expecting that.
Sean talks about it all the time, and all the coaches. We may be high on a player, and he goes, well, rookie, a young guy. And he goes, well, this isn't really football.
Yeah.
Like, wait till we put the pads on before we start crowning this guy or doing, putting expectations. So it did feel like this was the first day where it felt like football was really back. And it was back. It's just back more today.
And my guy, see, you guys focus on stats. That's what you guys would care about. My guy, Greg Rousseau, was setting the edge from right off the start. We were watching, it's like, there's Greg Rousseau.
I'm going to get to a Greg Rousseau talk a little bit later.
Before we get into specific players and plays, we do need to mention that the injuries, something to note, because, look, I think a little bit is precautionary holding some of these guys out, but a notable guy, Dalton Kincaid, not out on the field today. General knee soreness is one of the things that are listed, but there were a bunch of players that were not practicing.
We referenced the play that we saw yesterday. Josh sort of threw it up. I think it was wrap, a few players around, and they all went up for the ball. And Milano, it was Matt Milano, and hit the ground. And I said to you, even though there's no tackling, that's a physical play.
Yeah.
And he hits the ground. And I think that's the play Sean was referencing when he said it's a knee. Because it's Dalton Kincaid, and he's had it, and it's knee soreness, it's
Concern.
not
Probably-
nothing.
It's not nothing, right?
It was Bernard still wasn't practicing. Dawson Knox
I know.
has been cleared. He's off the PUP list. That happened after our
but
last
that's
video.
trending up. right?
Trending up.
Spencer Brown also still not practicing. Tyrell Shavers with the ankle injury. Now that doesn't seem to be serious.
Correct.
So that
That-
seems to be encouraging.
That's very
Great
good
news for him
Yeah.
because it didn't look great yesterday.
Curtis Samuel, Elijah Moore. That is someone that I that was like, oh, that popped up. Dalton Kincaid, like I mentioned, Terrell Bernard, Caden Prather, Cedric Van Pan Granger, and Dawson Knox. And Bass was TBD as well.
Pelvic area soreness
Yeah.
for Bass.
Yeah.
I'm just what? That's what
No,
was.
Sean said pelvis. No, he said, I don't know what he said.
Yeah, I'm just saying. We're just reporting on what it is. Look, the injuries, we literally talked about it yesterday, about these soft tissue injuries. And we're like, it's not nothing but something to keep an eye on. The biggest concern to me was Kincaid popping up because he's had knee problems before, because that's what hampered him last season. It's not nothing. It's not nothing. The good news is Terrell Bernard and Dorian Williams, during the install period, they were not in pads. They were on the field during install.
Yeah.
So that's a good sign that they're still walking through the practices and the assignments. I thought that's a sign in the right direction. Dawson Knox, another one that's trending.
Yeah, I think, I think some of these guys, it is just smart to be like, hey, it's the first day of pads. You don't need to be out there. Terrell Bernard, don't be padded up, but be out there, be able to see what's going on. But for other players, like you mentioned, the Dalton Kincaid, it's just not great to see when you know the track record behind him and how much injuries really did impact him last season.
Yeah, I was going to mention Mike Edwards, the offensive lineman. We don't know any details. We just happened to be standing there. This was after practice, and it was definitely a heat issue.
Yep.
Yeah.
The guys were helping him. He ended up going to the tent. We have
Walked
no
off.
details. Did walk off. He was shaky a little bit. He had been okay. The heat can get to people. And these
And
pads were
quickly.
off and everything, but this
Yep.
is
Yeah.
what happened. So something to monitor. Obviously, we hope everything's good with Mike, and we don't know anything official from the team, but it happened right in front of us.
I
Yeah.
remembered that last year and trying to get through this practice. One of the really hot ones, and Alec Anderson was the one that had to be transported to the hospital with heat exhaustion.
Yeah.
That's kind of what it was. So it's to get out of this practice. Seemingly, Mike Edwards happened during the autographs about
Yeah.
an hour after practice, but at least nothing scary
Yeah.
from the heat because it was hot.
It was very hot, and I think you kind of forget because you're like, oh, it's the heat, it's the humidity, and then just where the field is at with the track right around it, it just really bakes in. But I do think today was a really good reminder for, we were watching some of the one-on-one drills in
Yeah.
terms of the D-line, O-line, and just the physicality of the game and the true violence that you see on those one-on-ones on the line where you're like, wow, these are big dudes, it's super hot, it's understandable that at one point it might get to you.
It was different today, too, when they lined up for both that and even in the, corners versus wide receivers. It's funny. We were standing there, not that far away from the plays, and you're like, you felt like something was going to happen.
Yeah.
And it was in pads, and it was pass rushers against O-line. That's just what it was. And you could sense a little ramped up. But you were right. When you look at 300-pound men bull rushing each other, trying to hold them back,
Yeah.
and just all the technique that those plays take.
the
And
technique.
It is so important for these guys because they're all big, strong, physical players. That technique is the difference between that guy getting by you to get to Josh Allen and not.
And especially a day like today when I was specifically watching a lot of the wide receiver defensive backs one-on-one. Some of that technique goes out the window because it's pads and it's just make a play. It's been tough at times to evaluate. As we have mentioned, we're not keeping stats for what Josh Allen is or who has catches because they're working on things. But when it's one-on-one, it's don't let the guy catch the ball. And so sometimes the technique, you go back to natural instincts of just doing whatever you can. So I don't know if you want to, I didn't watch any of the D-line, offensive line, if you want to start there because you want to talk about your boy.
No, that was not the case. I got in my compliment for Greg Rousseau, so that was
Wow.
good.
But maybe this is where you take it a step up and be like Dan and shoehorn something in.
Well, look, he's the best edge
Just
defender
wait, I
on
got
the
something.
team.
I got-
I think,
I got
honestly,
something.
I think the edge, setting the edge, should count as 4 sacks on the season.
I don't think that's how it works.
I think it, yeah.
It's worth a
We
shot.
love the attempt.
Worth
Okay.
a shot.
All right, what do you want to work in?
The first thing I took away from the one-on-ones, DBs and wide receivers, Christian Benford is really,
He's-
really good at football.
He's a dude, man.
And the most fun battles were between KJ Hamler and Christian Benford.
I'm nominating KJ for my pass catcher of the day for the one route.
He won. I think that's the only catch CB allowed.
He cooked him.
Yeah, and he let him know it.
Yes.
Because the play before, CB got him, and they were face-to-face for about a minute.
Yeah.
It felt like a minute until it was Josiah, the DB's coach, had to finally get in there to be like, all right, like there were no punches, but it was a whole lot of jawing back and forth. KJ has that ability. Mentioned like he's like Isaiah McKenzie, who Micah Hyde always used to talk like doesn't shut up. That's KJ Hamler.
But look, if he's got a shot to make this roster and to play, look, this guy has been in the league and has played.
Yeah.
He is a returner too and has done that. We don't know how that's going to map out.
Yep.
We've talked about all the different roster things going on for this team in terms of special teams, and it's the 5 receivers that they keep talking about. So when you're KJ and you make a play on Christian Benford, let everybody know because
That's
it was
fair.
good for him.
Well, yeah, and it's because of the injuries too that you saw him take more snaps out there today, and I think he took advantage of some of the time he had
that's a
out
great
there.
point.
Another guy that I think it's taken advantage was Zach Davidson. I feel like he's been able to
It's the only healthy tight end.
essentially, yeah, but I feel like he's done a pretty good job of maximizing the moment for himself, and he's made some nice catches. So for me, I'm like, okay, Zach Davidson, he's using the opportunity to his advantage. Now, we know what the depth chart says, but he's out there making plays.
A name that is continuing to climb, Dorian Strong. Continue to stacking good days on good days. He's one of the guys that we said, like, hey, you know, the 6th-round pick out of Virginia Tech, all these things. He's having a strong camp. So I thought that was one. He had a really nice rep on one of the wide receivers. It was number 32.
Oh, yeah.
So
32.
nice
So
pass
there's-
breakup.
So there's
It's
that.
just so funny.
My notes are atrocious.
Yeah, I
just-
don't know how you read that.
They go
Bu-
quickly.
When the Buffalo Bills, and you just referenced number 32.
Oh,
It's
that's
like an
yeah.
iconic number
Yeah, that's
from the history of the
yeah.
franchise. as
Who was
we
that?
know.
No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Yes.
We don't have to go there.
I also want to get into 2 players. Obviously, they're the ones that we talk about the most. And we're watching practice, and I'm talking to some of the other media members, and we're kind of laughing because when Josh comes out, we kind of all just put our heads down. Like, it's tough sometimes to pay attention to all of the reps and the 3rd team and 4th team, all this stuff. But we have hit on it time because it is the most interesting battle. It's Maxwell Hairston and Keon Coleman. Those are the 2 guys that they're jockeying for position, for snaps, all of these kind of things. I thought both of them had up and down days. Max has kind of had an up and down camp. I saw him working off to the side today with Bobby Babich, one-on-one conversations, trying to work on some things. He went up against Keon, and Max got him once. Keon got him once.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have to say this because I said yesterday
He went by him.
he went by him.
Yep.
And he did, and he grabbed him.
Yep.
Pulled him on the jersey. They ref
Max
it there.
did.
Threw
Yeah.
it. Max did. Max was our new dude of the day. At
Yeah.
least that's the way I was looking
Yeah.
at it. Because of that, there's so much on that kid's plate at the moment. Trey is running with the ones.
Trey's running with the ones.
There was one play today. If you were at practice, you say, "Oh, Max is out there." Trey was fixing his shoes.
Trey was going Mac Hollins.
Yeah, he did.
During
Those
install, he
shoes.
was barefoot.
Then he put his shoes on. Then he was out there, and so it was up and down for him. He's got a lot to worry about. He's putting on the pads. He's going up against the physical player like Keon. He did make a nice play, Jenna, on
Yeah.
Khalil Shakir, correct?
Yeah, it was Khalil Shakir.
Across the middle.
Yeah.
The ball was there. It was good coverage. But a big thing for him on a day like today is pads on. What do I show in the run game?
Yep.
Because that's just, you got
That's
to
a
be
part,
able to
yeah.
do something in the run game, even if you are not, because that's not Trey White's game
Nope.
either.
Yeah.
But Trey knows how to be in the right position and make a play.
I think the way you put it, and it makes sense for the up and down camp, is just his head is spinning. Like there's just so much to take in, and you say first day of pads, all that stuff, but for him to make some flashes,
Yep.
you see the ability in terms of like that
raw.
speed. But it's raw,
Yeah.
and like how can
Drinking
you
from a
develop?
fire hose.
Yep.
Yes, that's what Greg said today. Greg Rousseau talked about how your rookie season, it's drinking from a fire hose and then adapting and learning from there.
Okay, so here's my analogy.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Keon Coleman, probably about 5 or 6 routes. I loved the one where he called out Christian Benford, wanted to go with Benford. Benford just locked him down. To the point where after the play, Trey White said, "Oh my God," because it was that good of coverage. And the wide receivers were like, "No, he was holding them." And Trey's like, "Oh my God, that was such good coverage." Keon won reps against some of the lower tier guys. He won against Jamarcus Ingram. And then he lost against Taron Johnson. He lost against Christian Benford. Way too early analogy. Again, I'm not putting anything on anybody's. I'm not putting finishing the book on Keon. That's what I'm saying. But maybe Keon is going to be like Greg Rousseau. Good, but we're going to be wondering, is he worthy of the contract? How big of the contract? How good can he be? Keon may be a guy. Greg does it a lot. Feast on backup offensive line. But then when he goes up against the best tackles, he maybe kind of gets taken out. Keon has had big plays. And again, the big plays that he had yesterday was against Jamarcus Ingram. He hasn't had the success against the top tier guys. That's why I'm not saying he's a bust. Don't comment in there. I'm saying
the B word.
I'm saying that Keon needs to show the flashes against the top tier talent. That's what I'm saying. That's where he's had good days, again against the second teamers.
Yeah.
That's the step that you need to take.
Well, he is a second-round draft pick.
Young?
No, he's not young anymore. He's in his second year.
That's right. That's
and
what
he said
Keon's.
it's not the case. I'm just wondering how Rousseau took a stray on this one.
It's just my analogy. I just thought, maybe he's going to be Greg Rousseau. We're going to go.
He's a guy who gets paid and is their number one pass rusher.
I agree with,
With
You
who?
agree with Dan?
I agree with Dan. Look, I think Greg Rousseau is a really nice player. But, okay, maybe it's this year.
just saying,
But
we can-
honestly, it would be so
But
beneficial.
this is Keon's camp. And I
Yeah.
know there's a lot of people out there like, Keon's having a great camp. Don't listen. I was talking to a bunch of other media people today going, what are you guys seeing? It's up and down. It hasn't been a everyday great for Keon.
No. And I don't expect that. But
Right, and I'm not sitting here trying to downplay the kid, but it has been up and down.
Dan's a hater. No, I'm kidding.
No,
I'm
and that's
kidding,
what the
I'm
comment's
kidding.
going to be. Because I was all about
How
his.
did they say it in the comment?
Oh, Dan's a hater of it. Like, there are up and down days, and we just want to see more consistency. Khalil Shakir has the same day every single day.
Are you changing your expectations for Keon this season?
So here's my thing: is I think that Keon, like the games that he had last year, you go back and look at it, the big game against Tennessee, backup corners, like he had the big catch against Jacksonville, poor secondary. It's can he get free against Sauce? Can he get free against Christian Gonzalez? Like we may look back at a season and go, he had some pretty good games. I only had 4 catches against the Jets and Patriots. That's where if you want to be that guy and be the go-to guy, you got to get open consistently against the best.
Yeah.
That's where I'm looking at right now. That's because I'm holding him to higher expectations. I want him to win against Christian Benford.
Yeah, I'm
with
you.
That's what I want to see.
Well, this
I
will
don't
make
really
him better.
Correct.
Every day, and I like that
Absolutely.
he's saying, come on.
It was great.
And they go up as like 1 against 1.
It
in
was
this
great.
case.
Yeah.
It was great. He called out Benford because he was going to go up against Ingram, and he's like, no, I want CB.
Yeah.
Okay. I can appreciate that.
I do too. I'm
No,
applauding
I'm not-
him for that. I'm
yeah.
not, again, please do not take this as like Dan's ripping
Oh,
Keon.
yeah, people will.
Yeah.
Oh, Dan's ripping Keon. No, it was, again, had a nice catch on the sidelines. It was a great play. Josh rolled out. Benford had good coverage on him. He was coming over the middle. Josh rolled out. Keon, they compliment how smart he is and how intelligent he is. And he broke back out, scramble drill, backyard football. Josh found him for a
Great.
20-yard completion. And I went, man, that's good because Josh scrambles a lot. So to do those drills and to adapt, it's like when they talked about Manuel Sanders come in. Like, the play's never over. Don't just run that route and be like, oh, I'm covered, it's over. Keep moving. Keep being an option for Josh. And he did that on that play, and I went, that's the intelligence, that's the smarts that they're talking about.
I love
Yeah.
the trash talking that was going on today. Dan,
There was
can
a lot of it.
Can we tell the story of our friend who got trash talked?
I don't know. James Cook's funny. Let's just go there.
Oh,
Yes.
Yeah.
He trash talked someone we know about football, and it was pretty funny because James doesn't say a lot,
Doesn't say a lot.
but it was funny.
called a stretch.
We'll ask if we can tell it.
Yes.
And then we'll tell it on the next pod.
Okay. Anything else of note?
Nope, just back out here for another practice, and then things start to change a little. You got the
Yeah.
open practice in Orchard Park on Friday, and then you start moving
Scrimmage.
towards that first preseason game after that.
We want to give a shout out to some awesome people that came up to us today. Marco, Jean, and Amy, John, Lynn, Kathy. There were some sweet women who said congratulations to me when I was walking around. Oh my gosh, I just pointed. But the far side. People have been so awesome and so sweet. So we thank you so much.
Yeah, those are my
Yeah, it was
notes.
great.
Okay.
Benford, KJ Hamler, Christian Benford's really good at football, Dorian Strong, Keon Coleman up and down day.
Yeah.
Much like his camp's been.
I think that's fair. We did see a nice little moment as Javon Solomon, a guy like we talked about his speed and him trying to like assert himself with all the new D-line additions, but him talking with Lorenzo Alexander, the former Bill. Lorenzo looks like he could still play also.
Of course he does.
Of course he does, but just like the little nuggets that he was giving to him.
He don't miss these practices.
Yeah, he's out here. He
No,
loves
he's not
it.
missing that. But man, when that guy showed up, they were expecting him to be special teams.
Yeah.
And he was their best pass rusher.
Yeah.
It was great.
Yeah, so that was pretty cool to see that. But yeah,
It's hot.
it is so. It is. Can you imagine playing this? Could you imagine being 300
Can you imagine
pounds?
carrying a camera around in this?
You did a great job.
Thank you.
I didn't want that to sound
so I will
patronizing.
just add this. We are recording this. This is Monday afternoon.
Mm-hmm.
We are headed to the patio.
Yes.
And Brandon Bean, barring no issues that the team has this afternoon, is coming over for the pod. I know a lot of you have put in questions. We will be using some of those questions in the podcast, so thanks very much.
Yes. So we need to shower.
And expect the pod out on Wednesday morning.
Yes, when the Bills have an off day here
Right.
before returning back to
Yeah.
practice at Fisher. All right, please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share. Once again, thank you so much for all your kind words when we see you out there. Reminder, you can find the audio-only version of the podcast available wherever you find your podcast.
Let her cook.
Also, be sure to check us out on social media. We have a Buffalo Plus Instagram page as well as a Buffalo Plus TikTok. Follow us all. You're zooming in. I can feel it. I hate you. Okay, thank you so much for joining us. For Mike and Dan, I'm Jenna. We'll catch you next time here on the Buffalo Plus channel presented by Connors and Ferris.